Yeah, that whole thing is behind me, and I'm hoping for good. That's all we can do. Hope for that it's going to be for good. Yeah, this is really the first time that I witnessed power of music on my own skin.
It's a real pleasure to have with us today the Serbian blues singer and guitarist Ana Popović. Welcome, Ana.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you very much for finding time to talk with Planet Guitar.
Of course, of course.
A lot's happened since we last talked, and many of the good things, like your new album, are inextricably linked to the more challenging moments, such as your chemotherapy rounds. In fact, you said recently, "My world just crumbled." So first, I'd just simply like to ask you how you are.
I'm great. Yeah, that whole thing is behind me, and I'm hoping for good. That's all we can do. Hope for that it's going to be for good. Yeah, this is really the first time that I witnessed power of music on my own skin. I mean, my fans been coming to me for years telling me, you guys, I had a bad day, or this happened to me, and you just really enlightened my evening and gave me hope and energized me. But this really, the making of this record was the first time I actually felt it on my own skin, and those songs were not even released. They were in the making, and they were just demos and just evolving into something. But it gave me so much power to deal with that situation or whatever life throws at you. It was an amazing experience. I have to say, this is not just any record, and that's the reason I decided to maybe mention the background to making this, because I made so many records. But it would be wrong to just talk about it as if it was just an ordinary record. There's so much more behind it.
I mean, it seems incredible. You did, I think, 150 gigs last year as well. And of course, you're a mother of 2 children, your career, you've got your home renovation going on. And how do you balance all these things?
Sometimes I don't know myself how I balance it, but the point is, we got so much time on our hands. Even the busiest people on this planet just underestimate how much time we have. And I kind of wanted to really explore that side, like use every moment you have, use it good, use it creative, use it for something that makes you happy, that fulfills your passion, fulfills your whatever is that hobby, whatever is that main hobby. You can have many hobbies. What's that one hobby that really gets you going, that really gets you energy, that you love, that you don't have to put any effort in? For me, that's music. So needless to say, doing that is don't cost me any energy, and that's really how it was always with live shows as well. And nowadays too, people ask me, how do you do that? 20 years on the road, how do you get on the gate 3 a.m. at LAX? And don't you hate it? Don't you hate all these travels? No, I love it all. I love it from the moment I wake up to of course the end of the day, when it's the gig and we get to make people happy. And that's just really I'm blessed to work, to have what's my passion, actually my work. I do this. This was my only job I've ever had, and I love it. Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, you have a new album out on 23rd of May 2023 called Power. Could you tell me where the inspiration for that came?
Well, it's coming out on 5th of May, right? 3rd of May, 5th of May. Yeah. Power, well, obviously there's different association with that name, and it came very naturally to me. Obvious for one, my situation, which is at the moment that I found out that I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I really thought, what, maybe I should just give this whole thing a rest, or maybe I should even retire. I think it's been a great career. We live great for my music. I toured all over the world. I never had a slow year. Maybe it's time to reconsider things and see where we stand, and maybe do something else. And that's where my bassist and my musical director Butel he said, no, you know, we were on the phone and I was telling him about my situation. This is big news. This is new, you know, it's devastating. But he was like, no, you can't retire. You know, we have work to do. We got work to do. We need to touch people with our music. We need to keep writing. This is what you want. This is what you're born to be. You know, he kind of has that gift to lift people up. And every now and then, me as a band leader, you get somebody like that in the band that is just not there just for the music, of course for the music too, but also to lift your spirit and get you going, give you hope. And he's one of these people. And you know, I'm like, okay, that's how really the first Zoom sessions right after that devastating message from the hospital, like we get on Zoom and we write. And really, there was a single day that passed that I'm like, all my difficult thoughts, or you're awake late at night and you're thinking crazy things. You know, I would just kind of direct them towards music arrangements and my songs, and Zoom with Boutel and write. And it's been such a smooth ride. I had 14 chemotherapies, and in the meantime, I didn't tell nobody, so nobody knew. The band didn't know. We kept playing during COVID whenever we could. And we kept meeting and doing demos and redoing demos and adding background vocals. People would send me horn charts, horn parts, guitar parts, whatever I needed. That's one side to Power. And then thinking about the cover, I'm like, okay, I can put myself on the cover again. I've done that so many times. Or maybe I can go for a timeless cover. And you know, Dark Side of the Moon comes to mind. No title. You might not even know the music. You might not even be affiliated with music. You know what that cover is: Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. You know, everybody knows that.
Yes.
And what is really important to showcase now, we had really many difficult things in the world. You know, so many things that needs to be better. Black Lives Matter. We had George Floyd thing. We had women in Iran, Iraq, fighting Muslim women. Their strive to freedom, and you know, homeless people on streets of LA. Just so many things that needs to be addressed. And I'm thinking, you know, one way to do it is just unity, and you know, and you know what, that image of two hands, black and white, just kept on coming back to me throughout these years as a very strong image. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just have that, and I'm gonna have people associate unity with power, and associate unity as of we gotta stop racism in any way, all over the globe, with power. That's something that's going to get this planet to a better place, you know. And I was like, I want them to associate that with my name, Ana Popović. Okay, that's her new record, Power, without even a title on it. So yeah, I mean, there's so many ideas behind that title. It's a powerful title, and it can be, you know, translated to different things.
Great. You once said your music reflects your emotions at the time, and this record represents another change in style. How would you describe it?
Well, for one, you know, I discovered this amazing scene of musicians and studio musicians in Detroit, Michigan, and it's a sort of a gospel scene. It's a church scene, and it just blew my mind, you know, how these people play. And we did record a lot of things in Detroit. Chris Coleman is an amazing drummer, one of the best drummers in the world. Played with Beck and Stevie Wonder, Chaka Khan, and Rochelle Farrell. And he's from Michigan, and my bassist as well. And you know, we had some studio musicians come in from Detroit, Showtime, who plays keys with me in the band now, and you know, rhythm guitar players, and you know, so just really amazing creative scene. So choosing a new city like that, and getting, you know, that kind of a feel from studio musicians definitely will impact your sound. everything I do is pre-thought. Okay, this is what I want. I handpick musicians with what I want from the record, and I definitely wanted a different sound for this one. I would think it's probably got gospel influences and soul and funk and you know, great vocal arrangements for background vocals. Jerry Kelly did a lot of that. He's a drummer in my band and a vocal arranger, and I think it was just a really interesting, different song material. Every song stands out. You know, they're all so different and variety, and they're all just great on their own. So they make a great new record, and playing live is just amazing. These songs are tailored to be just hard hitters playing live. They got many parts, different tempos in one song, horn parts, about, you know, vocal parts. So it's been really amazing playing them live.
Well, let's go straight in and talk about some of the tracks. I'd like to start off with Rise Up, which goes on for its longest track on the album, nearly 5 minutes. And you changed the arrangements, I believe, to make it more forceful. What message were you trying to convey in that?
Well, definitely that's the closest to what I just explained about unity. I think Kenny Wayne Shepherd wrote that song. That's the only song I didn't write. I wish I wrote it. I get many songs from producers, from songwriters, and you know, I really love my own song. I need to have my own voice. I need to put my stamp on the music. But in this particular case, this just resonated with me right away, and I'm thinking music needs to do something else than what the original was doing. It's just like, if you're gonna awake that emotion of like needing unity, and it's almost like an anthem, you need something powerful to back it up. And I got together with my rhythm section, and we worked on it, and we changed it totally. I mean, we changed it a lot, and just got that incredible bass line, which is my favorite on the record. You know, it's very forceful, it's very anthemic, and I think it was wonderful to open the record with that, because that definitely justifies the cover, and it is really where the mankind is at the moment. We are so close to, like, we need a miracle. We need a miracle. We need to get rid of all the bad things. You know, if you still think that other races are not as equal, or shouldn't be as equal, you're seriously 100 years behind. You know, that needs to stop. And there's a lot of countries in Europe that actually think they don't have racism, but like they do, because, you know, where are all these people? You know, you don't find them on the main TV channels. You don't, okay, maybe you're nice and kind, but like you don't give enough work to people, you know, that are not maybe haven't been living there forever, you know. So it's like it's a very touchy subject, and for me it's an important subject, because being white in like that, in polarized America, is like, what can we do? We can just focus on bringing our children, our white children, to the spot where they can just respect other races and be comfortable around other races, and treat them fair. You know, that's all you can do.
You mentioned that Kenny co-wrote the song. I understand you were on the 2014-2018 All-Star Hendrix tribute with him. Is he a big influence on you?
Kenny, on me? Oh, well, I wouldn't say on my playing necessarily. No, I mean, we have different styles, but I do absolutely appreciate it, and I'm you know, I think he's incredible. You know, he's incredible what he does, and he's such a force in the blues guitar, new generation, of course, new generation blues guitar. So yeah, I grew up listening to old blues, you know, Albert Collins and Albert King and Freddie King, and those are my influences, you know, Elmore James, Booker White. But yeah, Kenny, you know, carries the torch, that's for sure.
I was intrigued by the lyric, "Tie yourself to the train tracks if you think that's going to get you sympathy." Does that mean anything specific to you?
I mean, just that whole song is what I said. You know, yeah. What I said is just like, moving forward. We gotta move it forward. You gotta have hope in the better. We can't wait for the world to be a better place to thrive. We need to thrive with what we have. We need to work with what we have, and be positive about and go towards a positive change. But again, I didn't write the lyrics, okay?
Yeah.
So this is like, yeah, I just interpreted them with the music. And yeah, that's
Okay.
all.
Well, the next one I'd like to choose is Recipe is Romance, a sumptuous video that you're preparing at leisure for a date. It's obviously about love, but first and foremost, I understand self-love. Is that right?
Yes, that's totally right. Yeah, I mean, what I wanted, well, first of all, it's a romantic tune. It's got some wonderful jazzy guitars, and it's very different from anything I've ever done. And then when I write music and when I listen to my music, I get visuals, right? They just jump at me. All the visuals just keep jumping. So this was like, okay, I'm gonna serve this music video as I'm getting ready for a nice date. I just came back from work. It's exciting. What am I gonna cook? You know, what am I gonna look like? What I'm gonna wear? It's like usual stuff. I'm trying to put myself in the head of a woman, getting ready for her date. This can be a new date. This can be an old thing you're trying to spice up. It can be anything, right? So it was funny. He's like, I'm talking to my husband, and he's like, you got to do the bad thing. You got to shave your legs. You know, all the stuff that women do. He's like, you're so right. I'm going to do that. And but you know, the hidden message to that is like, whatever life throws at you, for us women is extra difficult, I think, because of you know, every surrounding, your surrounding wants you to look a certain way. They want you, you know, they want to consider you a woman a certain way. When you go through what I've been through, you know, a lot of women lose self-confidence. You know, they think they're less women than they were before. A lot of them are left by their partners to battle it alone. So to me, it was really like a motor and maybe inspirational music video to women that went through what I went through, or anything else really, what life throws at you, to say, okay, you can do this a year after. It's not the end. It's a new you that you can embrace. It should give you power versus make you feel insecure. So take out your best dress you have and just rock it. Embrace yourself. Let the world love new you, you know, and everything you get to offer with the new you, you know, because for me it was like, okay, I'm going to use my time even better than I did in the past. You know, I'm going to start playing drums, which I never did. You know, I was like, why didn't I choose a second instrument? I always loved drums. And he's like, okay, I can do that right now. You know, there's no need to wait longer. And you know, the nice thing about it is it's never too late to do something like that. You know, I have people come to my shows and say, I just started playing guitar, and like in their 60s. Of course, why not? You know, there's really no, with drums, for me, there's no pressure, because I'm a guitar player. See, I don't need to impress nobody. I can just enjoy this instrument on my own time, and just jam out, you know, with my playlist, with the artists that I love.
Talking about trying new things, I understand you did the video production. Is that right? For the
Oh yes,
yes. How was that experience?
Well, first of all, I did the whole interior of that house, my house, in the music video. And interior is my second passion, and I helped some people with their interior in the meantime. And then I directed them. Well, I direct all my music videos. The Turn My Luck music video, the Gamblers music video, I directed, and Recipes. I have a third one coming up for Strong Taste. So it's fun. It's just been too much fun. I enjoy doing that. I know what I want. I hire a camera person and I tell them exactly. I send them the book of filming. I know exactly how each shot is going to look like, from which angle, what is it going to, yeah, I got it all. So it's easy for them to follow my lead. And it's too much fun to do that.
That's lovely. It's great to have so much enthusiasm for something new.
Yes, it is. I agree. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
The third one I choose is Ride It, which is a wonderfully funky track with some jazz trumpets and a song full of passion. Is this you reinventing yourself, as you said?
Oh, Ride It. Yeah, maybe that's closest to what I had before. I'm just thinking, but yeah, it's a bouncy track, and it's got some great horns. Mark Mullins from New Orleans again sent me those charts, and he's great. He's worked on my previous records. Really, it sounds what I love to do. I mean, I don't get to do it as often, but with my band, we love to hang. We love a good late night fun. We love playing pool after the show. We love talking and laughing and getting together, in a hotel lobby or whatever. We don't do it a lot, but this song talks about that. You're gonna put this place to sleep. You're gonna ride it till our wheels fall off. And then the message we want, that's how we are when we get it. When it is a good hang, good late night, that's how it looks like. And also in life, really, it's like that's really what you want. You wanna get it all out. You wanna live your life in full. I mean, that's what you want. You want to take everything life. You want to give it your best shot. And looking back one day, you're going to say, okay, well, maybe this didn't work, but at least I gave it my best shot. I gave it all I had. And that's how I stand in life. I mean, that's how Butel stands in life. And we wrote all these songs together. So we sit down, we brainstorm, what do we want? This is our passion. This is what we want. This is how we are towards life. And the fun part is that I grew up in a music loving family in Serbia, Eastern Europe, with a lot of parties, and my parents were going on all night long. I mean, always people at our home smoking, drinking, listening to loud music till 3-4 a.m. And Butel grew up the same way in Saginaw, Michigan, in an African-American music loving family with parties all night long, where the kids were in the basement up there with parents partying. And it's so much fun because we grew up the same way. And that's just amazing how world is small. In 70s, 80s were just similar, no matter where you were. They were just similar, in certain families, for a certain style of life. Yeah.
Sure. The album closes with Turn My Luck, which is the first pre-release single. I was just wondering if that's also a reference to your 2020 diagnosis.
It wasn't at all. I never thought about it that way.
Okay.
Not at all. Really, when I was writing it, it's like you are stuck to a guy that's so wrong for you. That's like, turn my luck around. You just say a word so that I can get out of this. So this is where the song was going on. And of course, it had a total parallel with gambling, because sometimes you're gambling with your everyday thing, putting all you have on a person like that, or whatever can be in life that's getting you to that place. You got to choose. You're gambling a great life you have to a situation where you might gamble it all away. And of course it's a gambling song. So I directed that music video, and my cameraman was like, I can't believe you guys pulled it off, because we were in front of a major bank in downtown Los Angeles with our masks on, and we are coming close to the bank like we're going to rob it. And he says, we will never pull this off. There's going to be police everywhere in downtown Los Angeles. But we did, and we ran fast, and he's like, man, you act, you both of you, like you guys act, you just do it. While a lot of other people, they come up with scripts and then they get cold feet before they can do the scene. So it's been as much fun doing the music video as to write the song. So no, the answer is no, but you can be whatever people want it to be. That's the fun part about those songs. Whatever you think is your turn my luck around, there it is.
Okay, well, thank you. I'd like to turn now to some specific guitar questions. As you said, you were mostly drawn towards the blues, partly because of Milutin, your father's influence. Do you feel your blues playing has changed over your career?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm going towards what I feel versus what is here. And I'm striving to go that direction as much as I can. Yeah, just lock in with whatever is going on stage, with the rhythm section, with the pocket, and just be creative with lines and stay in the blues guitar, but take it some different phrasings, different than other people. phrasings, you know, find your own sound.
Where did the jazz and the funk influences that characterize your style come from?
It's just from music I've been listening to. You know, I've been listening to a variety of music. You see, I'm from Europe, so we get to hear everything, you know, versus if you're born in Chicago, you get to, you know, you're kind of expected to be Chicago blues guy, or, you know, not necessarily, but if you're in that circle, we could hear, you know, I studied jazz, and of course that opened my ears towards music I maybe haven't heard at home. I was always into funk and soul, blues, equally, you know, and I always wanted to make a record that's going to be interesting to guitar players, but at the same time it's going to be interesting to maybe people that have nothing to do with guitar. They just want to dance, you know, they just want to dance. So yeah, I want to merge two things. I always thought that my live show should be just so good. It should be foolproof. Every song should be different. It should keep the attention of people from the first to the last song.
You've shared a stage and collaborated with many top guitarists in your career, Buddy Guy, B.B. King, Gary Clark, Joe Bonamassa. What have you learned from these collaborations? Big question.
You know, I don't know if what I learned, but I sure enjoy them. You know, I mean, when that happens, a jam like that, you just kind of let go and you just enjoy the moment. I think you don't think too much. You just let it flow. You know, I mean, the last one with Joe was on the cruise just this past August, and it was a great jam and a few jams, and I'm not nervous before those, or I'm not getting myself ready in any way. I just jump on stage and see where it takes me, and it's just the most wonderful thing, because those are amazing musicians, and both guitar players and all the rest of the musicians on stage. It's just as good as it's gonna get. So, you know, take the moment and enjoy it.
Yeah, that show with Joe on the boat. You put so much passion into it. It's just you can see the pleasure you're getting from it.
Yeah, that was fun. We had some jams with Ken Mo. We had some jams with Joe and that cruise. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And wow, a day like that, you know, on the pool deck, jamming with Joe and the crew. I mean, that just doesn't get any better than that.
I think, Anna, if I remember correctly, you played last year with Jeff Beck in Madrid. Is that right?
We played with him a few years back, and it was incredible to see him and hang with him and spend time with him. I mean, you know, I would never say, you know, that I didn't even know he was that old. I mean, he looked like a young dude. You know, he had all the spirit you can possibly have and all the energy you can possibly have at any age. He had it, you know. So it was wonderful to spend time with him and chat, and yeah, I can't believe he's gone. I mean, he's gone too soon. It's he left incredible inspiration, and something we guitar players gonna strive to achieve, you know, that spontaneous control of your instrument and just letting it talk your soul through that instrument. He was one of the kind.
Thank you.
One of a kind.
Certainly. You recently said that your guitar saved your life.
Yeah. Might as well. You know, you never know how those diagnoses go, but and you never know what makes them go the right way. But if anything had to do with it, my guitar did. Yeah, it definitely saved my spirit and got me through the whole thing on a very positive note. You know, very positive note. And yeah, I always been very thankful to, you know, my father for introducing me to guitar at all. You know, sometimes I have those feelings on stage, like when it's a wonderful moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just so glad he did that. You know, he did that for me so many years ago. He introduced me to these instruments because, you know, thanks to being in a musical family, that's the reason I play. You know, I could have been something totally different.
I guess if you're on a boat and it was sinking and you had to grab one, you'd grab your 64 Strat. Is that right?
Well, if I had to pick one, I
Yeah.
would have to go with my reissue 57.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, 'cause,
interesting.
I got that from my parents when I was 18, 19 years old. We were going to Holland on a vacation and the car broke down, and we only had so much money for shopping and everything else. So my dad called a meeting, a family meeting, and he said to the girls, my sister and my mom, like, okay, so it's gonna be either we buy Ana a guitar like we planned, but then none of you can get anything this whole vacation. That's it, or we just forget about the guitar and you have money for shopping. And they all decided that they're gonna go for the guitar. So
Right.
I would definitely go for my 57 reissue.
Okay.
Fiesta Red.
That's great. Thank you. You've performed all over the world, of course, and in particular, I was reading recently how much you love Italy. May I ask if you have any thoughts about the country, the music scene, the fans in particular?
Oh, I have thoughts about great food and wine in that country. The weather and just wonderful lifestyle. I got 3 Italians in my band, and they are just wonderful. They've been with me forever. Michele Papadia, our keyboard player on the European side of the band, he's been with me for 17 years. The horns at least 8, 9, 10 years. And they're wonderful people. I just love Italian lifestyle. I just love it. It's very close to where I grew up, and of course they got great food and wine, and just enjoy life, and it's on a slower pace than the rest of the world, and you just gotta love it. You just gotta love that.
Are there any Italian guitarists you especially like?
Well, I did play in the past with Rudy Rota, and we're gonna do a tribute to him in the summertime. And I'm looking forward to that. I think he's been playing blues for many years. He tried to break through the American market. It's very hard to do that living in Europe, And I mean, I used to meet him on the festival scene, and I think he was always bitter. I think that comes to mind. It was bitter, and I'm thinking it's not easy what you're trying to do. You have to make yourself available to the American scene if you want to break there. You can't be sitting nicely in your Italian home and having all these wonderful things. It's like, there's one spot where you need to be if you want to break into an American blues scene. That's in America. But yeah, he was a good guitar player. I don't know many Italian guitar players. I mean, but that really comes to mind.
Okay, thank you. I have a fun question now for you.
Okay.
Have you ever seen your Serbian compatriot Novak Djokovic play tennis, and has he ever seen you play guitar?
We never met. We
Right.
never met. No. I don't know his musical taste, but
Right.
it very well be Serbian music, which is just another planet from where I am. So I don't know if he would even like that style. So no, we never met.
You're touring the UK in the moment, very soon. Do you have? Can I ask you? Is there any specific challenge for the way in which you're approaching these gigs compared to last year?
Challenge? I'm sorry, for what?
Is there anything especially different to how you're approaching these gigs that are coming up compared to last year, when you had no stuff going on? And
I mean, we're playing all new songs. I mean, the set is so different. It's a totally different gig. So I mean, that's the approach. We are tremendously enjoying the new songs, and the audience is enjoying it. It's a double treat, because usually, in my experience from the previous records, those songs need to warm up. The band needs to warm up to them. The audience, they've seen me so many years. They all have their preferences, like play this song, play that song. So when you throw in the new stuff, they're like, with this record, it's been like on from the first show, and just the love on both sides. The band's so excited. Band members want to play them. Audience is so excited. They love them. They're like, where did you guys come up with all this totally new music? It's nothing like we heard before. And it's like one after another. So it's going to be awesome. For the rest, it's the same approach. We come, we kill, we leave.
And do you have any more plans later on in the year, in 2023, for further tour?
Yeah, oh yeah, we have a lot of shows coming up. There's going to be Europe, there's going to be America. As you see now, it's really packed till summer, and now they're working on the second half of the year, so it's going to be a busy year, as always. So yeah, we're going to tour. I'm going to do another record. There's a lot of songs from this session that I didn't put on this record. I didn't want to overload it. I wanted to give just enough songs for people to be able to absorb, and I got more that are mixed and mastered and good to go, and I'm working on a few more, so I would like to see one more record before the end of the year, and we'll see.
Anna, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you again. I wish you all the best with your health and your family, your kids, and of course your music.
Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.